Alright, guys, welcome back. We are watching the Tatami Galaxy, Episode 8. Last time, we went down our second of our three choices. Well, I guess we kind of have four, but our three choices that we're being presented with right now, at least. And we chose the doll, Kaori, and that didn't go very well. That was a depressing episode, to be honest. I don't know, that was a rough one. But this time, I'm going to assume we're picking our third, our pen pal, Keiko, and we're going to see how that goes. But I already have some ideas about how that's going to go down. So I guess we'll see. But we're watching episode 8. You can line your own copy up with this if you want to. And we are starting in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, very refined, huh? Who are you? Oh, it's him. Okay, what am I looking at right now? Let's turn this up some. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure, sure. I Keiko. But I think there's yet another one that you aren't really, that you're deciding to not think about. That I think is a better option than all of these. Is it a sin to be this popular, huh? Oh god, he can't make decisions. Come on, he can't do that. Mm-hmm. 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 What club he joins this time? I guess he joined all three, but which one are we gonna see that he joined? Just slams her with the door again. God, I gotta turn this up more. All right. That was a weird opening scene. That was a weird opening scene. I don't know. I think that line he said there about like it being a sin to have this many women after you or whatever as an option, Like I don't know. I just it makes sense. His whole thing about decisions. I mean, almost this whole it's really weird. His mindset is so weird. Like it's like he wants to give himself decision anxiety. You know what I mean? Like because for him actually making a choice is like impossible. So the more choices he has, the happier he would be. But of course, in this case, I guess he's not really saying that. I don't know. I don't know. But like, I get it. Like, I understand. Because really, if an option isn't available to you and you do something that eliminates that as an option, that's kind of the same as like making a choice, right? And that's what he doesn't want to do. Because he's like kind of just not ready for that, essentially, right? That's kind of the scary thing about like being in college, the point in his life he's in, how you have to make all these choices that are going to affect your life forever, kinda. Not that it's really that serious. Like, I mean, until you graduate, there's a lot you can do. Like, you can change your major, you know. I think Ozu has the right attitude about all this. I don't know. All right. Mm-hmm. Naturally, of course, of course. Spread out the risk, huh? C. Oh, reading circle. Okay. Sure. Cool. That sounds fun. I would enjoy that. Wonder what he thinks about reading. I don't know. He's not gonna have good reasons for joining. Oh man, that looks crazy. Hmm. Mm-hmm. We'll see about that. Oh no. Oh god, he can't sit still. He can't do it. Okay, this isn't normally how reading clubs work. You normally don't just sit down and read. Normally you like read something, you talk about it. Okay. Yeah, this is rough. I don't know if I would like this. What I thought it'd be like a reading discussion club, and not a we're all gonna sit down silently and read in the same room. Hmm. The reports that he's been cheating with, huh? Hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Ooh, Keiko. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Why would they sign it in a book if they're like not real? Unless Ozzy's trolling him on purpose. Hmm. Nothing's about it. Nothing is lewd about it, Ozu. Come on. Maybe, I guess. Sure. Okay. He likes the idea. Freakish, you think? I guess it kind of is. This is kind of a weird thing to do. Yeah. I don't know. Is it weird? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a little bit, you know, in modern day cringe culture, people might think it's weird, but I don't know. I don't know. Oh, as the keep rewriting it, yeah. Just like how in his life, right? He would redo his life a million times if he could to try and get everything right, you know? Of course, he has to write the letter a million times, you know? Even though I bet none of them were that bad in the first place. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All she can do is ignore you, right? Come on. Oh god. Oh no. Oh no. Uh-huh. How amazing she is. Of course. Naturally. Naturally. Man, 2 years exchanging letters. That sounds fun. I don't know. That sounds pretty fun. That sounds like a nice little thing to do, you know? Have a pen pal like that. Hmm. Very flowery language, yes. And what's he gonna say? He's gonna say something crazy. Oh, never mind. Nothing particularly special. It's him sleeping in class. Hmm. Is he really majoring in agriculture? I guess he hasn't mentioned it before, right? I don't even know that word. Man, if this is Ozu or the master writing these letters to him, God. True, yeah. You are learning English. Literally, that's true. Sure, kinda. Okay. Well, we're starting to embellish now. Really starting to embellish. Oh no. Oh God. Mm-hmm. God, it really is just sad, right? The way he feels the need to do this. What is this? Oh yeah, the Hero Club. Right, right. God, you know what's sad about this is a lot of this is kind of true. Um, and what he's embellishing are his own feelings about it, right? He doesn't view these things in this way. He views all of this stuff in this weird, like, negative, horrible way, you know? But, like, what he just said about the Hero Club is, like, true. He could view it in that way if he wants to. I'm sure he's, in his mind, even, he's thinking, oh, I made all that up, right? But that's kind of the sad thing is, like, yes, he's embellishing a lot of stuff about his life, but a lot of this you could say is actually true, you know? And it's just a matter of his attitude. Yeah, he needs to change his ways. Hmm. See, he looks happy, right? Oh yeah, they didn't even know who he is because he had the suit on. He just falls over. Hmm. Of course. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sure. God, it makes him so happy. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it that it makes him so happy, you know? Like, I guess I get it. It seems like a generally kind of fulfilling thing to have, you know, in your life. And yeah, I guess doing it by exchanging letters is interesting, right? Because he gets to avoid the actual engagement, right? Okay, well, one of them isn't real, so unlucky. That hair won't get out of my eye. Man, she must have a busy life, huh? Being a dental hygienist, going to college, going drinking all the time. Mm-hmm. Like it's made of candy. Of course. God, like, is it just me who thinks our main character's life seems like really nice right now in these loops, right? He has a bunch of friends. He's friends with Hanuki. He's doing all this extracurricular stuff. He has a pen pal. He's doing, you know? And yet his attitude about his life is that he's wasted it. And that, you know, like, it's actually crazy how genuinely, like, enviable his life seems like it is over the past 2 years in these loops, you know? It seems like he's finding fulfillment in things, and man, she does a little bit. What a weird way to think about it. Hmm. What are you doing? Hmm. Interesting. He knows about the proxy war in this universe when he didn't join the Master's circle, right? Hmm. I think it makes sense that he would view these relationships in this weird way, like on the board of life, like a board game, you know? I was gonna say more, but we really gotta read. Wow. Okay. Wouldn't that shatter the illusion, though? Does he really want to know? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I wonder if he's not self-aware enough for that, right? Oh no. Yeah, looks a little bit like candy, doesn't it? Uh-huh. Shodoji? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh no. Oh, he's in disguise. Is it her? There's no way it's Akashi, right? That would be crazy. I would love that though, if Keiko's been Akashi. I would love that so much. Mm-hmm. She does have a connection to the master, right? Just like Keiko Higuchi. Hmm. Wonder what it is that triggered wanting to meet up with him, though. You know, entirely a man of sin. Mm-hmm. You can still meet her. Oh God, it would be rough. Predicted it would all be true. Just that's the issue, right? Is when you focus on the future like that too much. Don't live in the moment. It's not like you can predict how you're going to be in 2 years, you know? Staring at the opportunity. Sure, sounds good. Let's do it. She just said like a million of them. Gotta come up with an excuse real quick. God, what a loser. He just, man, he just looks at the ground sadly and mutters that. Oh, August 13th, huh? Absolutely. Oh, God. See, the problem too is the last one, the Keiko decision. It makes sense why it comes last, right? It seems like the hardest decision to make because it has these strings attached to it where, you know, he's lied to her all this time and he has to, like, come clean, right? First thing, consult the old woman, of course. Oh, did it pause? Oh, God. I don't know why it lagged there. That's going to mess up the picture in picture. I know why it did that. That's not good. Okay. Sorry if anyone was synced up. You're going to have to pause your thing for a second. I don't know why it lagged like that. Surcharge? No. Oh, right, because the 6,000 yen one was from episode 6, right? So now we have the surcharge because it's episode 8, obviously, obviously. All right, let's go. Let's go meet up with Keiko, huh? Hmm. It's who's it gonna be? I mean, there's 3 people it can be at this point. Higuchi, Ozu, it's Ozu. No, no, no. No. Oh God, it's over. He's gonna fall into despair forever. It's all over. Except, like, kinda. I don't know. Oh, Akashi, please pick up the pieces. Save him. Oh, what? It's been her? Oh, it's been. They've all. Oh, okay. Why, though? Why, though? And it's interesting, right? Like, can he say that he's this mad about it when he also embellished who he was through the letters, you know? He still formed a connection with whoever was writing the letters, right? Of some form, you know? Uh-huh, uh-huh. It shows that Ozu knows what's best for him, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, he didn't even know it was her. I guess that was one of his first. Yeah, it was in his first year. Ooh, when he puts on the suit, he thinks he's different, huh? Interesting. Oh God, I thought it was gonna be a moth. I was scared. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Think about it, maybe? Uh-huh. Oh, that's when he found it. Okay, okay. Come on. Like, we've dealt with it, right? We've dealt with the three. We've dealt with the three choices. Akashi is the opportunity that still exists, right? Hmm. Man, I literally. Back to the Castella, huh? That looks nice. Oh god. Oh no. He's gonna freak out. He's gonna lose it. Ozzy's gone too far. Oh, eating it all alone yet again. Hmm. You think? I don't. Maybe I understand him being really annoyed by this, right? Like it's kind of an asshole thing for Ozzy to do, of course. Hmm. I don't know. Ozzy probably didn't know it was gonna go on this long, right? Like I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. Oh, of course, naturally. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't change the subject. Oh, transiently for a partner. Oh God, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, sure, sure. That sounds good. Man, I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. That's a good episode. Man, he's having a rough time, huh? I don't know. I gotta think about some of that. There's still like I realized I didn't really talk about this in the last discussion. There's still like the interesting thing between like Kaori and Keiko in terms of like having no communication with them but being able to like see who they are or what they are. And Keiko, where he only has communication with her and just has to imagine what they're like from that, and has never seen them. I don't know. There's obviously like that's obviously an intentional like juxtaposition between the two potential relationships in that case, but I don't really know what to make of it. I don't know. And this whole opportunity dangling thing, I've had like some thoughts about it in general that I think I'm going to talk about in this discussion. That like I don't know. I can't decide what I think about what the author's saying with that exactly. Man, how many episodes we have left? We only have like three more, right? Crazy. Okay. We will talk about it in the discussion. Okay, let's talk about the episode. It is like 4 hours later, so hope I didn't forget what happened. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Don't worry. So this beginning scene here with it's very sophisticated. He's very yeah, and this is where we first see his like the game of life that he has them all placed on and all of this. Um, I feel like for one, for this whole game of life thing, I guess the way I can sum it up, just because I feel like it's pretty simple, like the way I view it in this moment at least, is like it just shows that he views his relationships well more so than just his relationships. He views like the choices he makes as like this formulaic thing, right? Like we know that we've established that it's not his own behavior that he thinks is like what changes the outcome that he ever has in life. It's his decisions and choices that he makes earlier in his life, right? And he just kind of arbitrarily decides it's certain decisions that make even though obviously your choices and your decisions are actually a factor and part of your behavior, depending on like what decisions and choices you're going to make. But yeah, sure, that's why he's wrong. So viewing it in that weird like formulaic way, right? Like, oh, if I make this choice, if I make this decision, then that means that's going to lead me to this outcome, blah 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 blah. I think, and like extending that to like relationships too, right? Like being in a relationship with someone or not, he would think that that would lead him to some kind of expected outcome, right? And that's like, that's how it would work. So it being like a board game, like, makes sense to me in that case, right? It's like this, there's rules to it. It's this very like structured, formulaic type system. And yeah, so it's a board game. I kind of like that. Not just for his relationships, but for like all of his choices and decisions in general, I don't know. It makes sense to me. I am a man of sin. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Hmm. So I guess for one, this is kind of like we're seeing him through well, I was gonna say we're seeing him as like his optimal form, the imagined version of himself that he created with his letters with Keiko. But I don't know, he does say he's a man of sin, right? Like we know he has these weird moments where he thinks he doesn't deserve things like this, right? So him saying that he's a man of sin while he's like embodying this kind of optimal version of himself that he made up in his letters with Keiko right now, right? I guess I kind of get it, right? Because he says he's a man of sin because he also thinks this is like not really how you should be, or it's something he doesn't deserve specifically. His feelings about it are kind of like, I'm unclear why he has reached that conclusion at all, but sure, I guess he's a man of sin because, like, in this moment, he does embody all of those things that he told Keiko about himself, right? And not only that, but of course, yeah, he is the recipient of an attack by a person of such charms. So naturally, that alone means he's a man of sin. God, and even like, God, I don't know. Like, I guess you can kind of. I was gonna say you can kind of like say his decision between these three women. Well, four kind of only three because one of them's not real, so never mind, it is three. Just it's a different third one than the one he's thinking of. You can kind of say it's just kind of representative of like his decision making and the way he thinks about his choices, if in his life in general, right? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. It makes sense to me. I guess like you can his extreme like a neuroticism. Is that how you even say it? He's being very crazy and neurotic about making this choice between which woman he should like be with in the moment. You know what I mean? Even though for one, it literally doesn't matter. One of them's not real. One of them he's never met, and Hanuki's real. But that aside, I guess it really just does show, like in a nutshell, his like position on any decision he ever makes in his life in general. You know what I mean? Like, hmm. Is it a sin for a man to be so popular, huh? Well, I don't know. If that's really how you think. And yeah, like his Johnny in his mind telling him to decide already. It's just impossible. He can't do that. It's impossible. Like, I guess you could almost say that each one of these women represent like some kind of path in his life he could take, right? I guess that kind of is like a relationship is kind of like a major factor that does decide what kind of path in life you're going to take. So you could probably take quite a bit of meaning out of the idea of each of these women having such different qualities to them, and like those being potential different paths in life beyond just being in a relationship, but like the characteristics that they have being representative of our main character making decisions that will influence his own life in those ways. You know what I mean? Like, because they're kind of, yeah. Hmm. Choosing Keiko. I will not succumb to the flesh. And yeah, that's just his crazy shit about succumbing to the flesh. I just don't even. Like, what is he talking about? Hmm. Strip away all veneer and reveal myself as I am at this moment. Okay, I like that, right? Because I guess showing himself to Keiko, more so than just the, like, choosing her in this moment. He's also... The reason this decision came last, I feel like, is because this is the hardest decision to make. Because he also has to come clean to her, right? Or he thinks he's going to have to. I mean, it was Akashi/Ozu. But he has to come clean to her. So that's kind of a rough decision because he knows what meeting up with her means. So it is interesting that means he has to reveal himself for what he is, I guess. Hmm. Because I guess this whole thing with Keiko, with him like making up stuff about himself and saying it's like what he imagined, how he imagined he would like reach and who he would be in a few years, it shows that it's not just that he obsesses over these decisions like retrospectively and looks back on them. He also has like this whole giant plan about how he thinks he should be and what he should be like in a few years from any given moment, you know? Because that was all stuff that he thought he could somehow achieve and show Keiko when he meets up with her in a few years, you know? So this time he joins the reading circle. We don't get to see much of the reading circle, unfortunately. It looks really lame. Like, I kind of thought the reading circle would be like a, you know, like a book club, like kind of like, you know, like kind of like what we do on this channel, you know, you talk about media that you that you've engaged with, you know. But no, apparently they sit in an empty room, not an empty room. They sit in a library and just read silently. So I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. And this guy walks around and hits people with a stick if they're, you know, probably a ruler, but rough, I guess. Doing some dealings with Ozu, huh? The Night is Brief, Go Forth Maidens by Morimo Tomihiko. Interesting. That looks like a real book, I guess. I don't know. It's probably real. Just like, you know, they had the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or whatever. Whatever, I always forget what number it is. But that book by Jules Verne, that one's like a classic. I've never read it before, but I assume this is also a real book, yet again. Hmm. So he decides to send a letter to Higuchi Keiko, which for one, I don't know how that name didn't set him off and didn't make him realize what's going on here. But I don't know. I don't even understand like what Ozu. I guess Ozu just put it in there to troll him specifically, right? Because he gave him the book, um, just put the name in there and just somehow knew. I guess I don't know. He doesn't know he is like our main character's best friend, even though he doesn't want to admit that. So and he decides to send her a letter, which he was saying like he thinks it's so weird to do this. I don't know. What would you guys think if you got a random letter from someone who was just like, "Hey, you want to chat?" I feel like that's not like that weird, right? Like maybe like kind of weird. I guess it would be weird if you like imagine it's like someone stalking you or something, you know. But that just to me it seems like something kind of that might have been more normal 50 years ago or something. That now you know no one uses the mail anymore. But I don't know. I don't know. To me, I imagine it not being that crazy, right? Like, I don't know. You just send someone a letter. If they don't respond, they don't respond. That's okay. Hmm. But I guess, like, you could almost say him having this attitude about sending the letter and being so weird about it and thinking it's such a crazy thing to do. Um, it kind of just fits with his like being scared of opening up and being scared with like being true to himself and all of those, you know, all the problems that he's had the whole time, right? Even though I don't know, I would probably feel kind of awkward sending a random letter to someone I don't know too. So, and man, his imagination immediately lights up, and he's sure this is the one, huh? It does seem like a nice thing to do. Like this really, man. I was saying this during the reaction, but I'm telling you, his life during these past 2 years actually is like enviable, right? Like he has all these clubs he's going to all the time. He has a pretty big group of friends, frankly. He's good friends with Hanuki and Ozu and the Master and Akashi and like all these people. He knows Jogasaki. He got all these buddies. He's doing all this extracurricular stuff. He goes out and hangs out with Hanuki all the time. You know, he got a pen pal. He's so it's just it's very funny how I think to a lot of people, if you really think about his life and the situation he's in, he actually has a really nice life right now. I feel like a lot of aspects of it that people would be jealous of, right? Like just the human social connection parts of it, right? That and it's weird because that's what it seems like he's so obsessed over, right? He's so obsessed over making 100 friends and having a relationship with someone who everyone will be jealous of. The rose-colored campus life as a whole, right? Um, and I think a lot of people would be, if you really sit down and think about his situation, they would be jealous. They don't have what he has in these episodes, you know, in these last few episodes, you know? He has a lot of stuff going on, but he's just decided it's not good enough, or he's just not even thinking about it, I guess, right? He's letting the rose-colored campus life slip through his fingers in his pursuit of the rose-colored campus life. Like, I don't know. It's, man. Mm. And like, in these letters that he sends to her, it is interesting because he doesn't even actually embellish that much stuff in these letters, right? He embellishes some specific stuff, right? Like he says, oh, he's the teacher of the English class, and he, oh, he's traveling all the time and all this. Um, but really, a lot of it is he is just taking a more positive attitude towards things in his life, right? Like he's just writing these letters in a embellished way, and through that, of course, he wants to sound really proud and happy of his life, right? That's what makes like him the kind of confident persona that he wants to portray to Keiko. And so as he's writing the letters, he takes this very positive attitude towards all these things in his life that aren't even lies, right? It's not like he didn't make up the stuff about the Hero Club. It's not like half of these lines literally don't even have lying, right? Like it's true that he wants to learn English to, connect with people. That was his explanation for wanting to learn it a couple episodes ago, right? So he's literally just explaining a more positive take on his life that someone could have. And like he just doesn't view things that way. So of course it's just all lies to him. But I don't know. It's just rough. Like yeah, of course some of it's lies, right? Like him living overseas and all of that. But yeah, like this is true. This is kind of true, right? He doesn't play an action star, right? But he's in the Hero Club, right? It's a hero TV show, like kinda, right? We know he does find fulfillment through like hanging out with the children, right? Because he seemed so proud of it when they were going away in the bus and all of that. So, man, it's just sad. It really is just sad. Change your ways. God, I don't know what to think about this, about him, like, forming this ideal persona for Keiko as well? Because just like he's making up his own persona through the letters, he's kind of inventing one for Keiko too, right? He's, like, coming up with what he imagines she's like through her letters, right? He's definitely embellishing her as well. Um, I don't know, that's interesting. I don't really know what to make of that, but I think there's definitely something being said with that. I'm just not sure what exactly. God, I wonder why Ozu did this. Like, I guess it was just a prank, right? But it probably went on a lot further than he thought. I'm gonna really be very, like, try to be very understanding with Ozu, because I normally feel like Ozu doesn't do things to just be mean through a main character? But, and this did seem kind of cruel of him in a sense? But I imagine it started as a prank, and he didn't think this was gonna go on for 2 years, you know? Or he just doesn't understand. I don't know. I don't know. Hmm. It's in Jodoji, where he lives. It's the apartment building made of candy. Because Ozu gets a bunch of money from his parents. I thought Ozu lived in the same apartment place as, or the same dorm place as our main character, but I guess he doesn't. Yes, yes, yes. Recap of all the. Mhm. Everything about these 2 years. Man, he had a busy life these 2 years, didn't he? This really easily seems like the best 2 years he had out of any of the things. God, what was he doing when Chogasaki walked in? Curled up in a fetal position, staring at the wall, like, get a grip. What are you doing? Hmm. Here, let me read this again. There are two crucial points about exchanging letters. The first is that they must be handwritten. And the second is that, for example, even if the cauldron of hell is unleashed and the world comes to an end, to ne'er meet your partner in correspondence. Okay, interesting. Is that true? Maybe. I got if you say so. What does she wear? What is her home like? How does she walk? What does she look like? Hmm. And like, if he always has this attitude about everything in his life, right? It's like, I wonder, would he be disappointed if Keiko was real and she didn't live up to his expectations? I don't think he would be, right? I don't think he would be disappointed, in a sense, if she wasn't the perfect red-haired maiden of his dreams. Whatever she was like, he might, like, fit it in and decide that she is the perfect person no matter what, you know? But I guess that's just important because it just kind of shows that, like, his, the way he decides what the perfect thing is, just like his rose-colored campus life or the raven-haired maiden that he wants to date, or, you know, etc. It's not objective. It's very much subjective to him, right? Like, I just feel like it's just, I don't know. Man. Because, like, it's not even just that he's giving up his life and ignoring so much goodness in his life because he wants to chase what's perfect, but it's that his idea of what's perfect doesn't even, like, it's not even defined. It doesn't even make sense. Like, I just don't. It's not like in any sense we even have an idea of what he means by the rose-colored campus life beyond just he thinks he's never attained it. You know what I mean? Like, if he doesn't even have an idea of what his standards are for when he'll be satisfied with his life, then he's never going to be satisfied, right? So, man. And he shows up here dressed in his Mochigamon outfit. Hmm. I wonder why Ozu decided to end it, but maybe it was Akashi, who knows. I'd originally written the high expectations of myself I predicted would be true by the time I met Keiko-san. And that's just, I guess that in a sense, maybe those high expectations are like what I'm looking for here. Maybe these are the standards in his mind of what the rose-colored campus life would be, of what his perfect, like, existence and, you know, self would be. Which is just crazy, because this is impossible, right? He wrote a bunch of crazy shit. He wrote a bunch of stuff that would have happened in the past, right? Like, he wrote that he lived in America as a child. How would he have achieved that in the future, right? You know what I mean? So, I guess it just shows that his standards are literally impossible. Can't disillusion her. Because I guess that's just how, you know, that's the same feeling he always feels about his own life, right? So, of course, of course. Hmm. Become a man worthy of her. Wants to meet the standard, but he can't do it. Being torn apart from Kaori. Gotta go hang out with Hanuki. Rough. And he makes a pit stop. Yeah, first thing, consult the old woman, of course. So this is the episode 6 one when he consulted her for 6,000 yen. Right. And then she shows up again. Right, and charges him another 2,000 yen, because now it's episode 8, of course. So, you know, she says that again. She says the opportunity is always dangling in front of your eyes. And, you know, there's your surcharge of now it's 8,000 yen, obviously. Of course. Oh, so I guess obviously in the last episode, that's why he recognized the old lady too, is because he had seen her previously. He had saw her when he went to hang out with Hanuki at the place and drink with her, going there too, and then she showed up again under the bridge with Kaori. Yeah, right. It's Ozu. Oh God, it's Ozu. And Akashi also helped, I guess. And surely this will make him think about that opportunity dangling in front of his eyes, right? No? You would think so. Ozu knows his tastes extremely well. I like that, right? Like, because I feel like Ozu really does normally have his best interest in mind. You know what I mean? Like, Ozu knows what's best for him, of course. So he knows his tastes. Yeah, and I guess that was in his first year, so she was still in high school. 'Cause she's a year under them, right? Mm-hmm. Opportunity, always dangling in front of his eyes. Surely that's what we're doing next, right? And we're back with the Castella. God, what did he think here? Wait. Akashi-san just likes Mushigamon. That's all. It's not me she likes, of course. Right, obviously. Of course, that must be it. And the Castella. And the Castella is really just like a symbol of his loneliness, right? Because, like, it's something that's meant to be eaten with other people. He cuts it up like you would when you're going to eat it with other people. Then he just tears it apart and eats it all with his hands, you know? I hope at the end he gets to share one with someone. Hmm. I'll roast him into coffee and grind him to bits. Thank you. Sounds good. It was most definitely not Akshi's-san. Don't change the subject. Of course, obviously. Found myself strangely relieved. The idea that there's nothing he can do about it, right? Of course he would feel relieved by that, right? It would exhaust him of his choices, right? He wouldn't have to think about making decisions anymore. If he could just tell him it's just fate and that no matter what he does, it's Ozu's fault. Ozu's the reason why nothing ever goes the way he wants it to, and it's just done, right? Even though again, I'm just saying, in this universe, in this these 2 years, I feel like things should have went the way he wanted it to, if he just thinks about them in a different way, you know? And we're going back yet again. Going back yet again. I wonder where we're going back to, right? Because we're done. We're done with these three decisions, right? So who knows? I guess that's for next time, huh? That was a good episode. I'm excited for New Horizons. We're done with that little arc. It feels like so. I guess we'll see. We're gonna see how he's gonna show Ozu, I suppose. So yeah, I guess that's it. Leave a comment, tell me what you think. Subscribe, please, if you enjoy my videos, and I will see you in the next one.